Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Tuesday night chat. Getting pretty good at starting almost on time or pretty much on time. Got the normal crew here, and I'm going to go down the line, let them do intros. And I am going to start with you, Blue. Go right ahead.
No, thanks for the invite. As always, we're going to start filling up quick on Tuesday. Not much really going on. Channel wise, I got the pistol kit coming. Oh, I got to whisper. Got the pistol kit coming Thursday. It should be here Thursday, so hopefully we'll be putting that together. Do a couple videos on it. See if YouTube kicks me off. But other than that, we got that going on, and I still got to shoot the one that I built. So I'm building them faster than I can shoot them.
Well, the weather ain't helping, that's for sure. I'm up there.
No, plus being sick for the last 2-3 weeks, it's been a battle, but I think we're finally getting over it. So,
well, good. Rick, is your 6 covered? Go right ahead.
I appreciate the invite as always. I want to say hello and welcome everyone out there in the external watching. Appreciate you guys showing up for supporting TR and the rest of us, I guess. Other than that, it's been fun. Been doing live chats. Been just screwing off, having fun. So hope you enjoy tonight's I don't know what I want to call it. We'll let TR make the name up.
It's the bull ring. And Rosie, glad to have you back. I mean, I know you was here last week too, but anyway, you go right ahead.
Good. Thank you. Good to see everybody. Good to see you, Blue and Rick and TR as usual. And welcome to the side chat there. Just a couple things. I did finally put a playlist together. It probably had 50 video segments on their 7,636-mile journey and 17 driving days. You may enjoy checking them out, all the various places we went through, the people we saw and met, including TR. We missed Rick, but we'll get him on the flip side down there, hopefully some Farmageddon and all that. But a great trip. Hope you enjoy that. It was a pretty epic adventure. Let's talk a little bit tonight, because I do get feedback on these chats, TR, which is a nice thing. I mean, people write me during the week and say, would you mind talking about this, or could we cover that topic a little in depth? And it's been a while since we've kind of torn into some things. So tonight I want to talk about fraud, and I want to talk about the news and its relationship to the market, because I was asked to give a little bit of my thoughts, especially on news as it affects the market, because maybe it'll help people become better investors. I don't know, but I can certainly talk from my experience on here. But let's talk about fraud. This time last year, Camping World, this is a good example for everybody to show you even the best research and the best analysis you can do, you're still subject to what I call the frailties of human beings and the foibles and fables of human beings. You know, I beat the drum pretty hard on Camping World, which is really the only national RV chain that can repair your RV. Let's say you're driving from California to Ohio and you break down in Kansas or something like that. Theoretically, there's a Camping World that you could get your RV towed to, and it could be serviced and worked on. And they have big supplies and showrooms where you can go and you can buy trailers. They sell a lot of the FEMA trailers that are being used after the fires here. So very good conceptual company. And that came out at about $26, $28 a share. And I was very happy. I rode that up to about 50 bucks a share, and just kind of lucky at that point when I trimmed back my holdings that I cut back about 2/3 of that Camping World. Because subsequent to that, you know, the stock did not perform well in a period when it should have done extremely well, with a very strong market in there. And then, of course, yesterday, for those who followed, the news came out that there was some accounting irregularities and some people were cooking the books on trade-ins and trade-in values. Or that's the allegations anyway. So the upshot is the stock's now come from 50 down to about 30, 31 again. So it's almost been like a total round trip. But it points up the fact that no matter how well you do your research, you can always have problems with investing. And it also shows you one other risk. When you get to late cycle in markets like we've had here over the last 2 years with a bull market that started in March of 2009, I believe, and it's 9 years old here. It's been going a long time, and it gets old. And what sometimes happens when you get to the end of these prolonged bull markets is that the tendency and the pressures are so great that people feel like they have to keep hitting a home run in the earnings. They have to start juicing the earnings a little bit to keep the flow going, or else they get punished, like a General Electric company like that. So the temptation as the pressure goes and the prices get higher and the values become more and more stretched, you can imagine some of the pressures that occur within boardrooms and within the executive management. And the temptation can be great to start doing things like cooking the books and doing a little shifting of accounting, maybe shifting it so the last in, first out instead of first in, last out. You know, you can start to do some things to juice earnings and stuff. And this is one of the risks of late moves in bull markets, is because the pressure is so great to keep the performance going and the earnings feeding the fire, that after a while it slows down, and then people get tempted to start pulling shenanigans, playing with the books and things like that. I think that's exactly what happened in the case of a company like Camping World, going along real good, and the pressure's so great. The industry's so strong, Thor Industries, some of the other competitors, Winnebago, that they're going great guns here. So you don't want to be left behind. So let that just be an object lesson to you. Now, if you were going to invest, would you invest now? Arguably, it's a good time. But then again, you're out of phase with the market, because the market could potentially be turning down in a very major way here. So this comes to part 2 I want to talk about. And the news. So just be aware, the longer a move goes on, the more temptation people have to fool with it, to try to keep up with the Joneses and to keep the performance. So the risk starts to grow. This is why in the 1920s, after the crash of 1929, the Pecora hearings in Congress laying bare all the scams and all the stuff that went on in juicing the 1920s stock market all came to light. And as the tide receded, as the market going down, all the rotten stuff was laid bare, all the putrid mess of cheating and financial shenanigans, all was laid bare, and it all came to light. So that's what happens when markets go down. When the tide goes down, all the rotten stuff starts to be seen. So just be aware of that generally in life. The second thing I want to talk about has to do with news. And we've had this cycle where this market has taken some terrific hits over the last 3 weeks in particular. And yesterday it had an extremely strong bounce. It gave back a part of that today. But we're at this transitional period where you have to be very careful with news, explaining things, because as most seasoned people that invest know, that news follows the market. It doesn't lead it. In other words, if the market has a big down day today, then the news people have to sort of come up with a cover story of why that happened. And the cover story can be wrong because it's following what the market did. So they look at that and say, gee, the market gave back about half of what it gained yesterday because there was some second thoughts about Trump and the trade thing, and maybe things with China will be problematic. My point is, when you follow the news in investing, you often get screwed when you're making investment decisions because the news is out of phase with what the market is. Right now, the flavor of the month is people are looking at the market and thinking it's trade issues that could be causing the problems or the glitches. Maybe not. Have to be very careful. It could be interest rates. It could be the US dollar And if you wrongly hitch your analysis to the wrong factor because you follow news, you can really get screwed. And that's the thing I wanted to caution people about, following news or allowing news to guide your investment decision making. So be very careful about that. When you sit on desks like CNBC or you sit at the Wall Street Journal, you got to come up with a rationale every day for what's going on in the market. And all of a sudden you can see them kind of breathe a sigh of relief. Oh, okay. Whew, the story about the trade, that's good. That'll go for about a week or so. You know, you have to have a cover explanation thing, or else you wouldn't have a job, right? But your job can be very dangerous because it puts people out of harmony with the realities of what drives markets. So be very careful. In my own opinion, we're breaking down here. We've had this back and forth, this terrific titanic fight of momentum fighting the new trend of probably downward. Every day seesawing up and down, the volatility builds. And pretty soon, I think whichever way it breaks, and I suspect it'll be to the downside, there could be a very, very, very great waterfall that could potentially take us down to about the 17,000 level from the 24,000 level in a very fast and rapid way. So be very aware of that. You know, if you've not liquidated, potentially it could be the last train out of the station. So I wanted to explain that and talk about that. I wanted to mention gold and silver continue to hold strong in the face of all this, because gold and silver, no, it's got nothing to do with trade, the problems that are going on now. It's deeper seated financial things of gigantic budget deficits and a lot of debt to be rolled over and funded. And some of the smarter players have pulled out a massive amount of investment money, and they will continue to do so. So that's about what I have for today. If anybody has any questions or anything on the side chat there.
No, I noticed this. Yeah, I think it's a seesaw right now from what I've been paying attention. The stock market, that is.
Yeah, well, you know, we've had this manufactured, engineered recovery, and now we'll see if it's hollow on the inside, like one of those hollow Easter bunnies, or we'll see if it's solid. Truth will come out probably in the next couple weeks or so. So we shall see.
Yeah.
If anything, we see some of the big stocks like the Facebook's under tremendous pressure because of their privacy policies, and there's going to be some new ways of doing business that are going to be forced on them. It's going to slow down their momentum. Google is breaking down. A lot of the big stocks are starting to break down. It almost leaves Amazon as the last one, really kind of still riding high on there. So just be aware that there's a lot of crumbling underneath the surface right now, and a lot of these big stocks, what they call these FANG stocks, Facebook, Alphabet, Google, they're starting to get undermined right now. So just be very careful.
Yeah, guns and ammo is still good to invest in. That'd be there's my investment policy for today.
So what's your thoughts with Remington filing for bankruptcy?
They've been talking about that for a while. That's not brand new.
That's first I'd seen. It was within the last couple days.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. They
have been either threatening or talking about bankruptcy for probably a month or two.
They had the rifles that would accidentally discharge, and a couple people got killed. There were some big potential legal judgments coming out, and to protect their business, they decided to go into a technical bankruptcy here to reorganize. It's got big problems, that's for sure. It's like it needs a breath of fresh air or a whole new approach to stuff, because who knows how those cases are going to turn out, because they're all winding through to appeals or finishing up and all that. So there could be some big money paid out here, and that's what they're trying to, it's really why they went bankrupt. But Didn't we talk, TR, about the big ramping up when Hillary could potentially get elected? There was a big surge in gun sales. And then when Trump was elected, the pressure to purchase came off. And most people that wanted to buy had bought in the intermediate term. So their sales were off like 33, 40% or something like that. I think a few of them experienced that same decline.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely talked about that because the manufacturers definitely ramped up, and there was still a surge buying stuff because everybody thought Hillary was going to win. And then when she didn't, everybody stopped buying and prices hit rock bottom.
Yep.
They're probably on their way back up right now, but at the same time, I hadn't really looked. I've heard some people talk about stuff going quick, but I hadn't really seen the prices go back up.
I suspect what will be the next driver is a sense of a little bit of a fear factor start to creep in, and maybe things are starting to get out of control in Washington and stuff, because preppers are pretty sensitive to that kind of stuff. You know, they always got their antenna kind of tuned into what's going on in Washington. The elections are coming up this year, and it could be a big turn. I mean, they see the gun demonstrations, kids all around the country showing up. I mean, we had 2,000 in downtown Santa Rosa last Saturday, these big rallies. So, you know, if the financial markets implode, which there's a good chance that they're going to, then you'll see another big surge, I think, in protective purchases. So now could be a very good time to take advantage of the low prices and
well, they're in mid-February, right after the Florida ordeal. You couldn't even go onto a gun site and buy, you know, any AR springs, detents. I mean, they were selling out all over the place. But within the last week and a half, you can pretty much go on any site now, and they're starting to finally come back in. So it's just like what it happens every time. You have that oh shit, something happened, they're going to take our guns, let's buy all the parts we can just to make sure we have them. Everybody sells out. But this time I didn't see any price gouging. Everything pretty much seemed to stay right on track. And I mean, they still even stayed with like their President's Day sales, and there was actually a couple sales this weekend on a couple of the big sites. So
I think what's going to be unusual about this is what could potentially be coming up here. And I'm like Linda Francine. I keep my eyes open. I see what's going on. I keep my finger on the pulse of, you know, not just Wall Street, but Chicago and some other places. And I'm concerned that the speed of what could potentially be coming is going to be very great here. It's going to be a very fast unfolding situation that could bring chaos very quickly here to some of these markets, because we've had unusual years of low volatility, and what makes an average is an average. So if you have a lot of low years and you have an average volatility over 100 years, well, you have to balance that off with some super volatile years to average it. And I think that we could be in for some really super wild volatile years here, so to balance that off. So I just think that's the next driver for guns and ammunition here.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of division in the Republican Party too still. I was hoping that Trump and the big surge and, you know, took the House, Senate, President, White House. I was hoping that would kind of, because there was a divide happening. I know we've talked about it before in the Republican Party, but I be damned, some of them rhinos, they still want to split up the Republican Party and just let the liberals have it. And it's upsetting. It pisses me off. Well, and with all this gun crap with the March of Lives and all that, all the hoopla and BS poured into that.
TR, you've also seen that some of the almost to a election, the odd election here and there tend to favor the installation of a Democrat here. So that's another potentially destabilizing thing that people are observing, is the trend of interim spot elections here and there.
Well, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people think, when you have some money available, or when things get tighter, or there's like the Florida shooting, right? People are wanting to buy parts and pieces and all that. And if you already have something, just making sure you have another kit, right? An interior kit, some of the things that go wrong are, usually the bolt of some sort. So have some extra parts for that, have some extra springs. And if you know how to take it apart and put it back together, it's like having a whole new gun already, So just, like a $30 kit or a $50 kit is like having a whole nother gun. So if you're broke or if they don't have the stuff available when things are tight.
Yeah, and if you guys got the money, right? I mean, I don't want to say panic buy the stuff, but I mean, right now the websites, at least like Primary Arms and Palmetto State Armory, they got all sorts of kits. They got the individual springs, detents, everything you need, and there's still, there's a couple things that are like $1.50, but mostly everything's 59 cents for the springs, 99 cents. So get a couple.
Yeah, I just bought 2 more lowers.
If you don't mind, what did you pay for them, and where'd you get them from?
$55 PSA.
Okay. That's I was going to put a comment in the external. Ever since like January, mid-February, I haven't found a freaking lower for under 60. But if you found one for 55, then.
Well, that's the thing.
Remember, I think there might be the blemished ones. I don't know if they are or not, because I ain't never seen a blemish on them. And even a guy at PSA said they all come out of the same box. They're not any of them blemished.
Mm-hmm.
Sell them as blemished. He didn't really get into it. I know I've said it before. I think what they do, they sell them as a blemished, so somebody don't try to manufacture rifles with the PSA name on it. And it's almost like a salvage title. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If they run the numbers, it would come back as a blemish, so somebody couldn't sell it as a new PSA rifle. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I know the guy said there ain't nothing wrong with these. They all come out of the same box, whether it says brand new or blemished.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and most of the time, the blemish is what? Just there might be a nick at the most. I mean, and that's at the most. All I've ever seen is like where the paint maybe doesn't quite coat evenly.
But every one I've got that says blemished, I couldn't find nothing on it. Nothing. So, but I mean, literally, the guy said, "Now you can't quote me because I ain't got the guy's name or whatever." I was looking for a box, but yeah, like I say, they got a box of lowers. It's like, okay, that one's gonna be blemished. This one's new. That one's $90. This one's 55 blemished.
Yeah, the guy complains. He sends it back. He grabs another one and he puts it in the other pile. And boom.
Yeah. PSA does have their problems, there's no doubt. But anyway, yeah, I went ahead and grabbed 2 extra lowers. Not like I need another freaking AR-15, but there again, why don't I need another AR-15?
Exactly. I got 4. I think it's 4 lowers just sitting here. If I ever decide I want to build something.
Yeah, I ain't got kits or parts or anything for the lower. I just bought the lowers. That was it. It was like, well, as long as I got that, even if and I really don't see even right now, I know there's kind of a little run going on gun stuff and what have you, but I kind of still got the theory that after the last 2 shortages, so many people that do want to stock up have kind of already stocked up. They might need more ammo, but as far as guns, I bet I ain't saying they ain't going to stop buying, but I don't think they're going to panic buy right now.
Well, and this has been going on for forever.
Mm-hmm.
So if you haven't picked up an AR yet, you are behind the power curve. But
yeah, but I mean, even 22 so much on the shelf now. It's like I see it, I don't even pay attention to it, you know. And then I still pick up a box here and there or a little brick or whatever. I know the last time I bought a 500 or 550, whatever the little brick was, guy's like, you can buy more than one. I was like, I don't even need this. I'm just buying it because it's on the shelf.
Exactly.
So it's not like I actually care, but can you still buy a bump stock? Because I just put into Google a bump stock, and then I hit the shopping part, and it says your search bump stock did not search any shopping results. So have they been banned, or?
They hadn't been banned yet, but they said that they're about to they're gonna have to go through legislation to change it. And they saying that they are going to classify them as a full auto, and therefore technically you should have to turn it in and blah blah blah. But you know, if you already have one, there ain't no serial number on it, which as far as I know there's not. I mean, I don't know, I've never even held one.
Yeah. See, and I've gone through 3 pages on Google with just bump stock, and usually you get oh, what the hell is it? Gun broker, cheaper than dirt. You know, you get a couple. There isn't a goddamn thing. It's all CBS, Huffington Post, CNN, USA Today.
I'd say Captain Shark out there has got it right. It says banned on Google shopping search.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to go to websites that sell them directly, more than likely. And that makes sense. I could see them. Yeah, Carl, the cook out there says, I used to have a bump stock on my 5.56. It sucked, honestly. Yeah, bump fire is just a freaking novelty anyway.
Yeah, I don't, yeah, I mean, what the
It's
hell?
at least the ammo is what it is.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But if you want to have one, you should be able to have one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, one single event. Yes, it was a tragedy, but he was going to shoot a lot of people regardless whether they had a bump fire or not. That didn't really change the outcome. Probably, well, I ain't even gonna say it. But anyway, one event by one person, and we need to change the entire freaking laws. It's like, really?
Pops has one sale.
That's actually cheap for what I was seeing a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, he probably would.
If you're paying $500 for $100 item,
here's your sign.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should make them illegal. I really don't. But if that's all they end up doing, I'll kind of, have a little sigh of relief over all the hype and horse shit and David Hogg and that little skinhead girl and all. Holy shit.
Now, if anybody can design a pistol or rifle that shoots Skittles and blows like little shiny objects at people, like, I think you'd be a millionaire.
I just saw somebody made a shotgun glitter bullet the other day. It came across my Facebook thing. Somebody shot it with it, and I mean, it knocked the target over. I mean, it was an actual bullet, but it had glitter in it. And then when they slowed the camera down, it was like sparkles were everywhere in the air.
Someone
out there put Tide Pod shooter.
Yeah,
we can do
some new ideas and shit for some new videos. You get a glitter bullet, Rick.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Bald and Curious was shooting Skittles out of a shotgun at the last Farmageddon.
Then I think they'd come around.
There's your answer. But just stuff some glitter and Skittles in one shell, and boom, there you go.
Well, I've shot candy before, but I'm talking like a legit one that actually cycles in your gun. The ones I make don't cycle. Even what the heck is this channel right there? Reloading from the hot pot. He's in here. He made some candy ammo as well, and they're a lot of fun to shoot, actually. but they don't cycle.
Yeah, that little David Hogg, that little punk needs to have his front teeth knocked in. What a little fucking tool. Holy shit.
God, you can, what a, yeah.
And I've seen the video where he was supposedly at home, heard about the shooting, grabbed his camera and drove his bike to school to interview as many people as he could so that this tragedy can't happen again. He said that in one of his interviews. And then all of a sudden I was there, and it's like, and I mean, the whole thing is just bullshit with that little kid. It was so, I won't say set up, but it was so fucking laid out. And I don't know if they just, okay, we got our guy. We're going to push him. We're going to coach him, you know, however it went down. I don't know, but I know he's a little fucking punk.
Yep. Someone will find him in some corner somewhere.
I just cringe every time I see his damn face.
Yeah.
Oh, you little bastard.
Yeah, you've gone farther than I have, because I can't, if I see something with him on it and it's a video, I cannot, I have yet to hear that kid's voice, because I can't, I just, oh, fuck him.
For sure.
Oh, and he's way up there. He's mainstream media right now.
Oh, yeah.
That kid's
Well,
known throughout the United States of America. Well, so is TR's because of his chat, but.
What did you, I mean, you've seen all the background. He wanted to be in like broadcasting or something. He's already like old pictures where him and some other kid was at a CNN prop, like they're, you know, anchors or whatever. I mean, that's probably why they had him on tap, you know, because they've already been, you know, indoctrinating them.
Oh, yeah.
Not the schools ain't doing it already, but.
Now, does anybody know? I mean, I know there's been a lot of photoshopped. The one of the girl ripping up the Constitution. I mean, in reality, technically, that's what they're doing. She never did it. She never actually did that part of it. But there's a picture floating around where she was at the rally, and she had is it the Cuban flag on the one?
Cuban flag, yep.
Okay, so I mean, that's a real photo? That's not shopped or nothing?
Yeah, her parents are from Cuba.
Okay.
But, okay, your parents fled from Cuba, fled from oppression, and now you want to turn America into a communist country. What? Did you not listen to? Did your parents not talk about their past? Why you're here in America now?
You know, every other generation's got to relearn the tough lessons of reality because they get too far away from the pain. Same thing happens in economics and markets and stuff. We repeat the same mistakes over and over and over.
TR, right now you have a lot of power. You have 69 people watching. If we were to go over to an anti-gun channel video, and seriously, now I'm serious because I talked to Rich 1911 about this earlier on his chat, and we go over there and bomb a video, right? Give it a what would be the best way to claim it as? You're offended or something, right? And we go over there and just start fucking blasting, boom, like playing I Sunk Your Battleship, right? And we have 69 or whatever the hell is over there. And I think we should. I think Blue, he's probably the best guy to figure out which video is the best one to just go blow up. And we just shoot the bombs off and wait to hear You Sunk My Battleship.
Antifa, huh?
So what's the one? Yeah, what's a good video search engine, or like what would we want to type in? I think we should just nuke a couple just for fun. What do you think?
Yeah, I like the idea.
Roger's like, I don't know where this.
I don't know. I have no channels that's leftist leaning whatsoever. I mean, even some that I've been sub to, they started talking left wing, whatever. I was like, unsub.
No, see, Blue's looking right now. No, I'm not talking about a channel we know.
Yeah,
I'm talking about like search
saying,
up
I don't know.
Rainbow Skittles anti-Second Amendment, some bitches, and then we'll copy the link and paste it and fucking.
I'm looking. Give me a couple minutes. You guys just keep on rocking.
I think, hey, they come over and they bomb our channels, right? It's mostly just trolls. But if we do a strike as a group, right, we could sink some battleships. Oh, Midas has 3 channels ready for deployment.
Well, hell, I don't need to search then, do I?
No, he has 3 channels that he's going to deploy.
Oh, shit. Well, damn it.
The Young Turks. Hey, hell, we'd be such a small. Oh, yeah. I don't know.
No, but if you get enough people to react all at the same time and it offends, that's going to screw up the algorithm, which in turn will probably give them a strike right off the get-go. So let's blow some shit up. Pop's got 3. I got 2.
I don't know if we could change channels in one chat. I know I couldn't.
Well, no, we got our Patriots out there.
Yeah.
I literally typed in a search engine on YouTube.
What'd you search?
I typed in "take away their guns." All I'm getting is "you'll never take my gun out of my cold dead hands." I'm like, this is not working the way I thought it was going to.
It's linked to your your past searches and stuff, so it's still kind of centering it toward your.
Oh, we can do it on our phone too. I volunteer to blow up a channel. I think you know what? You got to fight fire with fire.
Let me see. Let me see if I can find something.
Type in anti-gun. They said YouTube channel.
Let's just try that anti-gun.
You talking about a live chat or just
no, just a video.
Yeah, figure it out.
Just a video, and then we copy the link. We put it in here, and I'm not sure how many's in here now, 65, 70 or whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, shoot him in the face. We should make it an everyday event. At least blow one ship up. Pick a target, folks.
Ooh, this one might be good, maybe. I don't know. Oh, let me mute that bitch. Let me see if I can find a Turning Point USA.
Find some rainbow-colored haired, total leftist.
No, Turning Point USA looks more pro-gun than. Yeah.
There was one I saw on Facebook called "What the Kids Think or Say," and it was all it was a commercial on a video. Let me see if I can figure that out. And it was all about the kids talking about the shooting, all this, and how they should get rid of guns. That's the one we should blast.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't. I literally am having a real hard time finding.
All I'm finding is NBC, ABC, where they was covering. I mean, you know, and you're talking 40,000 views, 3,000 views. I mean, it'd be hard. You wouldn't even be. That's all that's coming up is the big.
Yep.
Just the big stuff?
Yeah.
Young guns, kid.
Because my search engine is like fighting me.
Right here. Let me confirm this. Kids react. Oh, no.
See? You think you found it, and then bam, it's like, damn it, nope.
Yep. All right. If any of you guys got any ideas out there.
Well, while y'all looking, I'll tell you, for there's a few of you out there that sub to me on my, or whatever it is, on friends on Facebook. I had a flat earther come after me.
You did have a flat earth?
He's got this, you know, copy and paste. I mean, a list. You had to scroll and scroll on the main computer screen. It had so many freaking links in it. trying to tell me what a tool and dumbass I was because I didn't believe the earth was flat. Look at all this evidence.
That's
And
what
one of the things I said is like, I've actually been in a plane and flew around the world. I don't need any more evidence than that. Yeah.
This is what I told you, TR, about creeping false news and creeping doctrine that's gotten in because of so many multiple sources and streams of total bullshit have now come into the world. That stuff would have never gotten a play 20, 30 years ago. And now look, you got people that actually, some people that believe that the earth is flat. And where did that come from? Right? I mean, it came from some wrong thinking that got loose on the internet, and it seemed like an interesting concept to some people, and they ran with it. And they don't care about physics, they don't care about longitude and latitude and sun's movement on the earth relative to, if we had a flat earth, we wouldn't have zones of time. We'd all be under the same sun, and there wouldn't be such a thing as a sunset. It's all I don't want to talk about, but it's just nonsense. It shows you all the different streams of crap that's available to people today, and some people really suck it up.
It was amazing. I've actually looked into it because not that I thought they were right. I was just kind of like, what kind of horse shit are they watching?
Yeah.
And so I have watched some things, and it's just like, oh my God. And and I even that one that he just kept on, just on and on and on and on. And and I pretty much told him, I was like, I'm not going to argue with an ignorant person, And of course, he was putting me down from the get-go, and I was just like, what the? I said, and I think one of my comments, because I know when you comment or have other people comment on Facebook, it keeps throwing it on the feed for your friends and stuff, So that's one reason I kept kind of commenting. I was like, well, I've been on a mountain at 6,000 feet above sea level. Why can't I see Atlanta?
Stupid.
You never did answer that question.
Yeah, I like that. Captain Shark, the rise in flat earthers is directly proportional to the closure of insane asylums. I like that.
All right, we definitely have the video. The fucking link that Bald and Curious put in, it's got like 3 million views. It's a guy walking past like in an office building with cubicles, and everybody's like, no, don't do it, blah, 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 blah. And he pulls up a fucking musket and he shoots, and then he sits there and he puts it down and he starts reloading it, and it says something like, your guns have changed, shouldn't your Second Amendment or something? It's fucked up. Oh, your guns have changed, shouldn't your gun laws? A petition for stronger gun laws. The channel is Prevent Gun Violence.
You see this channel called the Not Adam. Guns don't kill people. Your argument is wrong. This knucklehead.
Well, if you look at the comments, that video is getting blasted more than it is. Yeah, every comment I've seen is against it.
It's got 10,000 thumbs up, 10,000 thumbs down.
Yeah.
Yeah, this has 3.4 thousand up, 3.5 thousand down. So kind of balanced out there.
Yeah. Yeah, that argument about guns changing, and well, I give you a prime example. Me and Tool Monkey was talking about this at work, and if you look at the Constitution and what they were writing, I know I'm preaching to the choir. There's a reason they didn't say muskets. There's a reason they didn't even say firearms shall not be infringed. They just said arms, because they've done extensive history, looking back at history of all the governments, of all the failed, what kind of worked, what worked pretty good, what didn't work, but they all had a common thing, is you can't disarm the people. And when they said arms, that meant slingshot, catapult, cannon, musket, sword, lance. It didn't matter. An arm was a weapon to defend yourself with, period. And that's why they said arms, because they knew, because they were history buffs. They knew that technology and weapons had been evolving over the years, and they would continue to evolve, just like your freedom of speech would continue to evolve. I mean, even in their lifetime, they seen, you know, printing presses get better and or even be invented, you know, and they knew that everything would change. And so they wrote it as specific as they could, but yet not exclude any newer technology or something different. That's why they didn't say, you know, muskets. Your right to own a musket shall not be infringed. No, they were like, no, arms, period. Like I said, I'm preaching to the choir, but, you know. Anyway.
Hey, your army of soldiers is ready to do battle, man. They're like, what's the next one?
I can't find anything. And it's hard to, I can't do this and look anyway, hardly. Because like, just like y'all, you find a video and it's like, well, hell, there's more people, all the comments I see are already blasting it.
I can't find any gathering point of real pro people. Everything I look at has at least as many thumbs down as thumbs up on it. So I'm not seeing any clear gang of Antifa dopes out there or things to land on.
Yes, atomic bulls, full auto rifles, they are arms. And it says, or the right to bear arms shall not be infringed. Every gun law that's ever been written in a state or federal level is unconstitutional. Period. They can't infringe on it, not any. It flat out says shall not be infringed. It's probably the most specific freaking amendment of the amendments. Yet it's the one that's attacked constantly. All right, Ball's got another one. I'll go look at it right quick.
I think what we need to look at is the ones that are going viral, the ones that, you know, that come up as a, what do you call it?
Oh yeah.
That's where we need to find those ones. Yeah,
that's a good one to thumbs down. Well, there again, it's got about half thumbs down.
Yeah, that one it's
yeah, but nobody spends the time and puts the stripes.
One Bald and Curious put up's pretty good too.
All right, so what do you do here? You hit the 3 dots, right? Report.
We don't even know how to do it.
Report.
What are we reporting for hate speech?
What is the issue? Yeah, hate speech. Harmful, dangerous acts, hateful, or abusive content. Right there. Or what's the best one? Let's see.
On down at the bottom, it says,
oh, infringes my rights. Fucking A, right there, howdy. Boom. Shaka Zulu.
Well, that's copyright and other legal complaints.
Oh, you got to touch something else.
Yeah, if you hover over the question mark.
Yeah. What do we want to put?
I think the violent or repulsive content. Because it's violent or graphic content or content posted to shock viewers.
It actually promotes terrorism too.
Yeah. Dangerous acts.
Right? If we don't have guns, it promotes more terrorism.
Right.
Can we just click Oh, you still got to freaking click one. Abuse of fire or explosive, suicide or something.
We're all going to get shut down.
Yeah. I'm going to go with.
But you got to remember, this is only one. This is only one of yours. Now, 90 of these things are going to come in, but all you did was go, you know what? I thought it was offensive, and go fuck yourself. You guys find the best one yet?
I've got a very good one that I'm trying to find.
Oh, don't hit terrorism, because then you have to find a spot and time in the video. Violent or repulsive. That's kind of repulsive. Or hateful and abusive. Physical attack.
All right, I went with hateful or abusive content, and then abusing vulnerable individuals, and then I put in what you got to say is influencing people with lies.
Did you put a timestamp?
It come up 27 seconds. Fuck it, whatever.
20. I'll just put 45 seconds.
Yeah.
I think
That way I was a little bit vague with it. Influencing with lies.
Lies and influence. TR's response. No.
All right. I found the perfect video. I mean, this is the perfect video for terrorism for everything.
All right, where is it?
Yeah, just put her in the external.
Let's blow some shit up. I guess I better not.
Trying to make this a damn troll channel or something, Rick? What the hell?
Huh?
Rick, I didn't know you had it in
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Blue. Like I ain't got enough fucking trolls on that son of a bitch already.
Which one did he put in?
A fucking anti-vol video.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're loved by that community.
I already got. Let me see. I know it's over 5,000 comments. Yeah, 5,014 comments on it.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna know unless they watch this video.
I still hadn't been able to review all the comments. There's so many. Because like, hell, they might be a terrorist in there, and I fucking didn't meant to see it.
We got 36 thumbs ups and 61 people watching. The math is not right. Not really sure what's going on here, guys and gals.
We're all looking at other videos instead of paying attention.
Yeah, that's true. We're busy.
It's like, what the hell is going on?
Luke Banner's out there.
Fucking Rick crashed the fucking party.
Great fucking idea.
Yeah, it's time to fight fire with fire.
Hey, Luke, you want a link?
Oh shit! You made me spend all that time trying to find TR's freaking video. Oh, damn it! Now I gotta go back. You're killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
348,000 views. Holy shit!
Yeah. They actually flagged it or copyright infringed it, and I requested a manual review, and they put back the monetization on it.
Damn. Yeah. You must have made like 50 cents off that video.
At least. I think I've made a couple of dollars, actually.
Oh, you made a few dollars on that one. For sure. Go away, Lane. Howdy. Yeah, he wants a link.
Yeah, let me.
Now who the fuck you inviting in? This is like a crazy Scotsman's chat. No, I'm just fucking with you.
Well, we'll get a foreign point of view.
Yeah, we'll get a Canucky up and in here.
Mm-hmm.
Oxjaw, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, got comms on the new channel. Go away, Lane. Okay.
Go away, Lane. All right.
Nice to see you, comms.
TR, you gonna head up there?
Where's that?
The Calms is a retreat in a couple months.
Yeah, maybe we could plan that out.
It's about half. Well, I don't want to say halfway between both of us, but it's closer than.
Yeah.
June something. I'm not going to give the exact date, but he was looking for June.
Okay. As long as I got a little heads up, yeah, we'll do that. I can make it work.
All right. Luke, your link is sent.
Yeah, it's in your YouTube inbox, Luke, under the channel you're on right now. Damn fuzz. These guys are having fun. I'm stuck with a rotary phone.
Dial 9 now.
I was messing with the rotary phone yesterday.
Surprised you guys even recognize what the hell they are.
Yeah, I had one at one time.
You young fish.
That's right. The man, the myth, the Luke Banta.
Oh, Canada.
All right. What's this thing on? Yeah, I got it.
Hey, Luke.
Hey, how's it going, folks?
Hello, Luke.
Luke, how's it going? How's it going, Rosie?
Good. Nice to see you.
Rosie, you did some traveling.
Yep. You see, I met the legend.
I seen it all. I seen everyone.
Shared a little moonshine.
Yeah, a little moonshine.
Yeah.
Looked like a lot of fun, and
great time. I can't wait to. Sorry, we missed Rick. I didn't even cross my mind. I thought he'd probably be in California or something. But
I might have been.
How could Rick not cross your mind with those eyes?
Well, yeah.
What the?
Dumb old me. Dumb old me.
What did you say? Double D?
Dumb old
what? Dumb old you. Oh, okay. I thought you said double D too.
Oh, dumb old me. I thought you said double D.
I would say, well, yeah, that's Rick. Yeah, he's into that.
Where does Canada come down on all this gun nonsense now? You guys don't have that same constitutional.
No, we don't. We don't. And, here's the thing, and I've been talking about it on other channels, certainly, over the last few weeks, certainly. Our perspective is certainly we have our gun rights up here, you know what I mean? And not rights, sorry, privileges. We have to apply and so on and so forth and get things registered. And handguns have to be registered. Long arms, it went through a phase of being registered. They took that away, but the liberals are back in power up here again. So they gave us cannabis, so they might take away the guns. It seems to go hand in hand. So people are a little nervous about that. Certainly, the sane people in the gun community. Really, how do we view it? I think we view it like most do. There needs to be some reasonability with it. I think that it's okay, and I think they should set, for instance, what's an adult? Okay, is it 18? Is that when you can be, tried in a court of law, go off the military, vote? You know what I mean? Handle a firearm. So there we go. We've established what that is. Maybe even to drive a vehicle. Okay. Now I know there's some 16-year-olds out there that are hating on this Canuck right now, but maybe we have a graduating licensing up here. 2 years with a coach officer, right? Or sorry, not a coach officer. My brain goes back to it. A coach, and I think that's reasonable. With a firearm, I think the same thing. You do have that right, and you should never have that infringed upon. What I would suggest as a community going forward, and again, I know that I'm talking to a constitutional crowd, and I'm saying there should be non-infringement, and this is where the argument is. It's an infringement, Luke, if you're talking about there's a mandatory training for me to possess a right or to carry on with a right. And I agree, but I think socially, okay, I think that we can understand as adults that we would like to say that, yeah, the person that has my back in a mall is going to make the right choice. They're going to have some training behind them, and they're going to do the right thing. You know what I mean? It's like the person on the road. I want to make sure that the person oncoming is going to do the right thing, or the person in front of me is going to do the right thing in a snowstorm, or whatever. Or the person who's driving me, you know what I mean, around for whatever reason, is going to do the right thing and handle things the best way. So I think training is certainly something we can all gravitate towards. I don't think taking away an AR-15 is going to solve the problem. I don't think putting any kind of ban on a weapon is going to do that. I think that when they get, you know what I mean, 2 warnings of an individual, there you go. Follow up on that shit. Okay. If you've got the resources to do that, which you do not, in most cases, I wouldn't say, well, you probably do. But if you don't have the resources to take care of that after, let's just say 30 times, fuck, man, where's the resources to go out and gather all the guns up? Think about it, right? You're going to put your time, money, and effort, and even your voice somewhere. Put it where it makes sense. People's attention span is very, very short. So there's this Canucks version of it.
Like might as well be ban liberals and the problem solved.
Yeah. It's uneducated people, and I'm seeing it all over the place, and it's just, they just need to be educated and look at it from every perspective you can before you say something that's going to really make a difference. Me up here, okay, I ain't going to make a difference nowhere. So I just tell you my opinion. But I like to think that I've looked at it.
Just curious. I'm always curious in my Canadian friends because they watch this from a pretty objective position here, and I value their, they can maybe see a little more of both sides and some of what motivates the other side with seemingly random events of shootings and things. And I'm just always curious about sort of a dispassionate third-party perspective on America and the gun situation. It really tears this country apart in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you're right, and it should. It should when they're slowly chipping away at something that you guys hold near and dear as much as the Constitution. And in your fundamental rights, well, that should never be infringed upon. But again, maybe it's because I got a law enforcement background and I've seen what shit looks like, you know what I mean, in a community. So you have to have some kind of order. And with order, there has to be a regulation, a rule of thumb, a direction, some kind of guideline so that we can all act and have some kind of equality even in that. It's a necessity. But the people need to be as educated as the law enforcement. And not so that there's loopholes, but so that there's less event, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I go back to that education, how important that education is. And I say that, you know what, it's up to people that are constitutionally certainly to make sure that the other people realize it and remember it. If the kids ain't learning it in school, that's something we demand when we go to vote again. You know what, let's put the Constitution back in there. It's part of a course, whatever. And it's
I wonder how many teachers took the opportunity to sit down with their class and say, hey, look, it's very simplistic to say, let's ban guns and do all that, but let's examine the Constitution of the United States now. Let's tear into that. Let's examine that. Let's put a little time into that instead of being out on the streets protesting. Let's sit in the classroom here and let's dissect where this came from and what's the intention. Is it clear or is it ambiguous what it means? The right to bear arms shall not be infringed. Is that clear or is that unclear the way that's written? But how often do you think that happened in the last 2 weeks? Zero?
Yeah, zero. And they don't go over. I mean, I think they did probably pretty good with us, but definitely not in the past 10, 20 years are they teaching why is the First Amendment there? Why did the founders put the First Amendment in? Why did they put the Second, Third, Fourth, Fifth? Why did they do that? And if they did their history, if they actually covered the subject, what the British was doing to us is why this is in there, why that's in there.
I think there's something to the order of it, too, that it comes out of the Bill of Rights. It's not willy-nilly. Let's just call this 14. Let's call this 7. Let's call this 3. No, there's some kind of ordering. It meant something to them. The First Amendment and Second Amendment rights right up there were really priority in their thinking, having gone through a terrible revolution and bloodshed and tyranny and the heel of a despot for 100 years. They were bound and determined and figured out this is the best way to protect and defend against this type of thing happening again. So it's you don't ever hear these discussions on the other side of and yet if we did strip away the guns and all that, would we be opening a door to potential tyranny again? Probably, in a nation.
Let me chime in real quick. I've been watching Fuzzfort. He's been putting out some really good videos, very informative videos of the words prior to even the Constitution and the reason why a lot of that is put into the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. And he's an asshat. I don't like him at all. But go over to his site, and he has some great information about a lot of the stuff that was written by the founding fathers. And definitely take a look at that because he does a lot of research and he goes back to some very old documents and he has links to it that you guys can read and check out.
Well, it's interesting, Rick, that the Bill of Rights was an afterthought to the drafting of the Constitution. Why? Because states came forward and talked about the things that meant something to them to join, like Louisiana having to, United States recognized that French law holds sway in Louisiana, unlike any other state in the Union. Or saying we're not going to join if you don't address the right of people to bear arms. This is specifically why these things got as amendments and put in, so that there would be a recognition that this is really important and you guys should have put this into the Constitution. But because you didn't, we're going to have this separate standalone piece here, and this will serve as a real beacon lighthouses that are things that are really critical within the Constitution, apart for how elections should be run and judges appointed. So, in a lot of ways, it's a lot more important should be a lot more important to us than even some of the things that are in the Constitution, specifically because they had to be included to get states to ratify the Constitution.
Well, and there's one video that's basically about history and the words that were used back in the day, like arms, and he breaks down all the different words and verbiage and how it was used to portray certain things. And he talks about the dictionary of that time. I think it was a dictionary, but basically the dictionary that was written that many years ago, when you were to type in arms, it laid it all out there. And if everybody was to go back and actually read what that stuff meant at the time that it was written, they would get a more clear understanding of what it is meant to be now. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. I know Fuzz always gives me shit, but we have a lot of fun bugging each other. But he has some really good information in there. So check it out.
And that's probably why Fudge could probably go in there and actually teach all the teachers and say, this is the course, this is where it's going to be taught. You know what I mean? You need at least this much instructional time, a week, and we move forward. This is what we move forward with. If you want possession of our children, you're going to teach them the basics. You're going to teach them what they need to know. Then you can fill it up with all that other shit, right? How to write a resume, how to balance a checkbook, talk about debt, understand debt. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, you really need to know about that shit. Credit. You need
exactly.
to know about that.
And the good thing is he was there during the battle. I mean, that's how old this son of a bitch is. Like, he was actually sitting there fighting against the British when all this was taking place. Like, that's the reason why he has so much knowledge in it. He was there. Just kidding.
Yeah, I'm going to say Fuzz really got around, man.
Love you, Fuzz.
Jackson in New Orleans in 1810.
If you can't tell, we like to beat each other up a little bit verbally.
Probably down with Jackson in New Orleans in 1810. Awesome, man. Good deal.
Yeah, he's been around the world block a few million times. He was in the same college with Jesus, I believe, as well.
Ah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he had the stone tablets that they were chiseling out, taking notes, don't he?
Yep.
That shit's
fun. Enough of beating up Fuzz.
Well, they don't teach kids history.
I'm saying they want to pick and choose. I always said the cafeteria style of teaching. You teach what you think that you want them to know, and fair and balanced, forget about it. You'll downplay some amendments as not worthy of the paper they're written on, and you can poo-poo it and say, see what this Second Amendment has wrought on America, this violence and all these. You can really style stuff and tailor stuff to really influence minds if you set about it the right way, the way you teach and stuff. So, these days it takes a really tough and determined teacher to really be balanced and explain where all this stuff came from, so kids have a better idea instead of all this one-sided stuff. That's why we got tens of thousands, millions of kids marching in the streets last Saturday for lack of understanding of really both sides.
Well, I seen a video.
Oh, sorry, go.
I was just going to say, I reposted a video here just the other day on Facebook, and it was it was Eric Holder talking to a group, and it was several years ago, but it was, I don't know if he was whatever he was, FBI director or whatever then. Anyway, but it was like in Obama days or whatever. And he was flat out saying, we have to repeat this message. We have to indoctrinate these students, these kids, to know that we have to abolish guns and how, I mean, this went on, and it's like, and we can't stop. We got to do it every day. And it's like, yep, then that's what the fuck y'all done. To the point that even the teachers are indoctrinated because many of them are so young, they're just getting out of college. And, you know, if you do that for 20 years, or how actually it's been going on longer than that, but this is say really intensely for the past 20 years. Well, what was a kid 20 years ago when you started that, or 10 years ago? Well, now they're teachers. And they have been brainwashed. And he actually used the term brainwash. We have to brainwash these kids. So the teachers are brainwashed. This teaching the kids to, I mean, they're brainwashing the kids because that's what they were brainwashed with. That's why you got that many kids wanting their rights stripped away from them and have no fucking clue that that's what they're doing.
And then they grow up to be judges and federal judges and uphold shitty laws and start infringing on gun rights. And that's where it all comes from.
Yeah, it's true too. It's like going back to the vehicle again. You know, in the beginning years, even when you learned from your dad on how to drive. Maybe some of us didn't. We learned on maybe a tractor, or we just took the vehicle and went and learned. Anyway, the point is that normally there's that person sitting beside you, right? That adult, you know, a mom or a dad. What I explained in the video there I did a while back is that, but if this guy teaches you that, you know, yeah, you drive 80, and if there's a person doing 81 in front of you, you pass them, right? It's the proper thing to do. And when you're passing him because he's doing 70, you flip him the bird, because that's what you should do. Let's just say. But I mean, they're learning from this person. Now, if this person is shit, right, it just carries on. And if there's no check and balance and nobody there to stop it, this is where you get the problems in even the upper echelon and police services, right? Because they've learned from the person below them and they've gotten away with it, right? And then all of a sudden you have some defaults there that are set that are very, very wrong. And this is the same thing. Like my daughter, I asked her about the guns and stuff. I said, you talked about basically, have you guys talked about in school, the school shootings and stuff in your school? Yeah, we have talked about it. And I said, okay. And I said, so what do you think? Do you think that, let me ask you this. Do you think the gun was the problem, or do you think the person that did it was the problem? You know, so simple question. You know what I mean? Maybe a little leading. But she said, you know, well, the person was a problem. And I said, okay. I said, but what if he couldn't get that gun? What do you think? She goes, well, that would have been better, I guess. I said, yeah. I said, do you think he still, if he was really mad enough, he still wouldn't could have caused harm, you know, with some other way? Oh, yeah, he could have used a knife or anything like that. But she's only 11, right? And she's sheltered quite a bit, really, you know, from all that stuff. So I think that it is really, just like TR said, it's very much indoctrinated, right? It's definitely taught to them, you know, and it's not fair. It's not fair to them. I don't mean to be fucking sandboxious about this, but it's really unfair to a child to do that to them, to not give them the big.
That's the real crime. That's the real crime. That's exactly right. You know.
That's an awesome.
Because they grow up.
Landrun hits that shit right. It's a home run. He says when there's a police shooting, they never blame the gun. You know, it's always the police officer, right? Oh my God, he shot him. Well, wouldn't it be the crazy magical gun that shoots by itself? Wouldn't it be the gun's reason?
Right, just like when
that there's some badass people in the world, right? So it's not their problem; it's the gun. You know, the gun made them bad.
Well, that kid in Florida, I mean, hell, he could have went in there and pulled the fire alarm, and as they all rushed outside, just took a damn vehicle and run however many people down. I mean, that's happening in Europe and America. And they never blamed a truck or car. And when there's a bombing, they still didn't blame the bomb. They blamed the person. But when it's guns, it's always the gun's fault. Unless it's police.
That part that you just said, TR, that's the part that actually irritates the shit out of me, is that just recently in Austin, we had that serial bomber who set off, 5 or 6 different bombs over a period of 2 to 3 weeks. And it was never about the materials. It was never about it's already illegal. It was never anything other than, oh my God, these bombs are going off. You know, it was never, I don't even know how to put this. It was never going after the the weapon used. It was a person. It was a person. It was a person. I mean, even look at, let's go back to, oh my God, I don't remember what year it was, but there was a guy and a kid in a car that were going around shooting people at gas stations.
There was something, they was calling them something snipers or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy was in the trunk?
Yeah. Never once were they, oh my God, this is a gun problem. This is it's almost like if it's one mass thing, which is, let's just say 4 people or more, 2 people or more, versus a spread out incident from the same people that killed so many more or the same amount, it doesn't fit their agenda. So they don't push it. I mean, the only thing you ever heard about those snipers that were running around in the DC snipers, the only thing you ever remember, or the only thing I remember about that, and that's been a while back, is Sheriff Moose or something like that. They had T-shirts made up with the moose head or something. You guys remember that?
I didn't know about the T-shirts or forgot about it. Well, I tell you, well,
Like that.
At least in our time, you know, when the first, or is what I would consider a mass shootings happened, and they happened time to time. I mean, to the point that there was a term coined for it, going postal. When the damn post office workers would flip their wig, go into the damn post office or where they were actually shipping the shit out and stuff, and do a big shootout. They still didn't blame the gun then. It was the fucking crazy son of a bitch that come in here with a gun and shot the place up. And that where the term come, going postal, because that was the only time it happened for the most part, was a freaking, I mean, I ain't even gonna get into who, because whatever. But anyway, it was postal workers.
Yeah, the Christmas time, right? And they're freak out, or at tax time, right? Just throw the fucking bags down the garbage chute, tax returns and shit, and go nuts. I mean, they did that shit all the time. Christmas cards from 1913 showing up, being delivered. And yeah, you'd have people go postal in the post office. Yeah, that's exactly where it came from.
No, I mean, it was actually doing shootings. They went into the post office.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
Yep. Oh, I know it. Then it kind of spread into the workplace, that expression too.
I think part of the problem is media. Well, let me finish my sentence here, or finish my thought. It's not necessarily media. It's these kids live in such a fucking bubble, in such a unreality. The ones doing these shootings they're in some kind of other. Now, they're not in another dimension, but I mean, they're so out of touch with reality. It's like a way to get famous, or a way to retaliate. They don't know anything different. They just know, well, this will make me famous. I don't know what they're thinking. I really don't. I don't know if they think it'll make them famous. If it's just that they don't know that there's other ways to deal with problems because they've been fucking cuddled all their life and they never had to experience reality. You know, their eyes have been either on a damn cell phone or on the TV or on a video game or a movie. They'd never got their damn feet dirty. I guarantee you none of them run around barefoot as a kid and cut their foot or scrape their fucking knee. I mean, these kids are living in such a bubble. And I know there's a lot of parents, and I've known a lot of parents that coddle their kids, just try to protect them so much that once they get toward adulthood and things don't go their way, they don't know how to fucking deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could be wrong. That's just the way I see things with some kids. And as a single man for several years, dating people, single parent, single moms raising kids. Oh my God. I'm not saying every one of them. I definitely wouldn't name names, but damn, they try to be their kid's friend, and those kids, almost every damn, not all of them, a lot of them. And I know the culture's different and all that, but it's still no excuse to be raising school dropout, fucking drug addicts, because you wanted to be their friend. And they don't know how to fucking deal with reality. I've seen it firsthand over and over. Fuck. It's too much drama here. Bye. That's why I hadn't had a serious girlfriend for fucking decade.
It's probably hard.
I think you're.
Well, you held out for the best, brother.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, you know what? I think you're right, TR, in that sense. But here's another little thought that I've had about that. Be it that there's so much different social media out there. How can a person keep their mind on one thing and not be distracted and not be 2 minutes or less? I mean, Jesus, there's like Instagram, for instance. I mean, most of us are part of that. But for a child, you know what I mean? You've got Instagram, Twitter, all these different things, and they can freaking do them all. And there's other ones that I can't pronounce, right? Apparently, I just learned, and they're in there. And they're exposed to so many different opinions. Now, back in the day, it was just kids you went to school with. They set the trend, right? Whether it was friendship bracelets or freaking whatever, right? Bell bottoms or style of dress or Nike shoes were the big thing, or Farnay or whatever. So now it's like, how the hell do you actually find it without finding little tiny niches everywhere, right? And of course, this causes really major exclusions, you know what I mean? And quite frequently. And there's a bombardment of just shit, you know what I mean, that's being thrown at them. There's no filters anymore. And like I said before, kids were in bed by 9:30. This is when the racier movies came on. This is when Rambo came on, you know what I mean, on TV, for Canadians anyway. And Skin Flicks or something like that was on free cable or whatever never came on until after midnight or something to that nature. There were standards. Now it's all there. You know what I mean? If there is no filters, but yet the mind and the human being, I mean, it is still just that. So if they're developing scarier movies, I mean, it takes scarier and scarier and scarier movies actually to move people now. So there's desensitization there to some degree too, I would say.
It's not even a scary movie anymore. They're just going for the shock value and gore. It's all they're doing. There's no build up suspense for that big climax, that big holy shit, that's what happened. It's just, let's see how much brains, guts, and torture we can put in an hour and 30 minutes. No,
that's it. The other thing, I was just thinking about it. What about YouTube? Right? Everybody's looking to have that viral video, or Facebook, right? Everybody wants that viral video. So there is some out there. They're not quite wired right. And maybe it's not their fault. They've been dropped through the cracks. Maybe they weren't loved. That was maybe the problem. I don't know. Or not dealt with properly. And they've got just so much there. Nobody's listening. Everybody sees it they're damaged. Nobody really does anything. And maybe they say something. People are lazy. They move on. Our societies to a degree, people do get left behind, So, I don't know. Like I said, I think that kid down there, that Cruz kid, when he was 16, it was a fucking tragedy. 17, probably still a fucking tragedy. 18, well, you're an adult now. You got to go seek some help, right? 19, you done fucked up, son. And it still is a tragedy, through and through. It should never have happened. He should have been grabbed up on.
Yeah. It, I know times change and all that, and I know even our parents, their parents were probably saying, what a fucking bunch of shitheads these kids are today. I'm sure it's been a progression. I don't know what the answer is or whatever, but I do know, I think, and I know it's probably been said before, I mean, things do need to back up a little bit. It just like you said, with all the technology, these kids are used to instant gratification. I don't know how you change that. I'm not a parent, but I think parents are going to have to reel their kids back a little bit and not allow them so much information overload and social media and all that. I don't know what the answer is, how you would do that, but I know it's part of the problem. I'm not saying it is the problem, but I know it's part of the problem. And the other problem I see which is without a doubt the divorce rate. I hate to say it, but I'm saying the divorce rate with married couples with kids, what it ends up doing to the kids. I'm not saying every time, every case, but if you're honest with yourself and everybody else, and if you've seen what's going on, it's not helping the situation. There again, it's not the one thing, it's just part of the problem. So you got a combination of things. All these little building blocks are making these little fucked up kids.
And we even see it as I don't know. Well, you guys that are on social media like Facebook, Twitter, whatever. How many of you have that one adult friend, or even a friend that's older than you, that is always the doom and gloom? They could be the best person in the world, but no matter what, their life sucks. People take advantage of them, and it's all out there on social media. Instead of taking care of the problem, approaching the person that may be causing you the issue, they just vent.
That's therapy 2018 style. That's 2018 therapy, Blue.
Yeah, but the reality is that back in the day, you would go and hold the person accountable in the moment, right? You don't do that now. What do? They call you, right?
They put it out on a broad blast. They put it out on a broad blast to everybody. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up, go over there, and if that person unjustly cost you your job, fucking punch him in the mouth and take your licks whenever they turn you into the cops. I mean, I hate saying it like that, but back in the day, that's almost what it was. Either you punched each other, you got into a fight, and then you went out and you had a fucking beer, and it was over. But now it's just this constant fucking, oh, this person did this to me, and then the other person, oh my God, I can't believe this.
It all plays out to get allies.
Grow up.
Exactly.
Yeah. But how many times have you got that call? I don't know, Blue, maybe not, but I mean, it's like 103 Bravo go. It's like, you available for a call? Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I've got a neighbor calling in regards to apparently a cat is defecating in their flower bed, and they've kind of had their final straw, and they'd like an officer to stop by. You're sitting there looking at the dash going, are you fucking kidding me right now? Are you kidding me?
Yeah,
right on.
Send Officer Blue, please.
I know I've said this. I know I've said this call before. My best call ever was one neighbor mowing their grass and blowing their grass clippings onto the other neighbor's grass, and they live in town. That is, oh my God, I about lost my shit on that day.
We got a neighbor dispute. Officer Blue.
Those are the people you literally want to fucking line up right at the property line and be like, all right, assholes, go at it. You guys do it and do it right, and you're both going to get arrested at the end. But fucking,
that's funny.
Why even arrest them?
That's funny as hell.
Just let them go.
Yeah, no, what we do. We go, you better do a good job because we're taking away the loser.
Yep.
We're taking the loser to jail.
Oh, you really get a good fight then. Just saying. Bar time, 2:30 in the morning. All right, let's see what we can get over. No, just.
My
question is, Blue, do you have to respond to each and every call, or is there a triaging when you're, as neighbor's cat pissing in your flower box? I mean, how does that rank in terms of sending an officer out?
If it's handled by phone, it's handled by phone. If not, if they absolutely request it, they do get an officer, but it's when we get there.
Jesus.
What a priority.
Could be a month later.
Yeah. Listen, if you get that problem and you're in Dallas, right? Or better yet, if you're in Flint, Michigan, apparently, it's a big problem there. If you get there and somebody's breaking in your shed and you're stealing your shit, just when the police say, yeah, we're all our officers try it up, we'll get somebody over there as soon as we can. Just hang up the phone and then just pick up the phone and call them back and say, yeah, you can tell those guys, just never mind. He's not going anywhere any fast. I just shot him, right? And hang up the phone again. You will have cops there in fucking seconds. Catch the guy red-handed. It'll be great.
Or just send for somebody from the third shift. Yeah, well, we got here. It's 3 a.m. You had a problem with that.
In Flint, they might go, all right, good job. Yeah, guys, we can slow down on that. You guys are
look at the lawn now. We need to go outside and look at the lawn clippings. Let me get my light here. Let me get my police light turned on your lawn. Now, what's the problem here? Officer, it's 3 o'clock. Couldn't you have come this afternoon? Well, we have some priorities here, ma'am, but I'm here now, so we're going to do the full report investigation. Let's go get your neighbor up, well.
Hey, Rosie, they do the same shit to the fire guys, but in opposite. So how long's this been hurting for? It's 4 o'clock in the morning. So how long's your chest been hurting? Oh, since lunchtime.
Yeah,
like,
No.
Why
It's
the
been
fuck
at least
couldn't
the
you
last
tell
4
me at
days.
lunch?
No, that's fucking funny. That is great. Shit.
Last 4 days I've been having chest pain, but God, at 4 o'clock this morning, it just
it just felt worse. So I figured it.
That's funny.
if you've had chest pain for 4 days and you haven't died, you're okay.
Yeah, that's it though. And they call you, or the worst one is when you get there and they go, "How long have you had this?" Well, I've been had about noon hour, and you're going, "Okay, so it's just after supper. Did you have supper?" No, I've been able to get off the floor since 4. It's like, oh, okay, well that's good. Maybe you should have called us earlier. Yeah, I thought it would pass. You know, those fuckers are terrible.
Chris said, "Does DMV check your record when you get a new driver's license?" I don't know. I don't think so.
Check you meaning what?
Outstanding warrants or tickets or.
Oh.
That's what I imagine he means. I'm not sure.
If it's set up for that in the county or Blue would know better than I would, I guess, down there. But I up here, yeah, they do check, and it's attached to it, so you can't renew.
Ours is statewide with reciprocatory states, which means that if you say you have a PA license and you get stopped in Ohio for speeding, the points carry over. If you get a ticket in Ohio or New York or something like that and you don't pay it, your PA license will still get suspended. They won't re-up it.
Yeah, it's same. It's even probably worse with driver's license because it's attached that way, and this is that control, ladies and gentlemen. It's that privilege of a driver's license. They don't want you to drive; they just take it from you.
Computerization.
Well, child support, unpaid fines, warrants, your life goes on and on and on. So you won't slip through the cracks too long, you know.
But Blue, every state doesn't have a reciprocal agreement, right? I mean, Louisiana and Pennsylvania, unlikely that say two.
Yeah, so most of them. Well, actually, a lot of states do. I can definitely tell you that California and PA don't, because we had a guy from PA who convicted drug dealer, piece of shit, basically, moved to California. His license ended up getting suspended because of warrants in Pennsylvania. He moved to California, started shipping a bunch of meth from California to Pennsylvania, and then moved back to Pennsylvania with a valid California license. But we have it set up that basically in our state is if, say you're from PA, or if you've ever had a PA license and it's under suspension, it doesn't matter if you have a valid driver's license anywhere else, you're still screwed.
Wow, you don't think you're profiling a little bit there, don't you?
No.
I hope so.
So
profiling is wrong.
Kind of profiling I like.
Ordinary law-abiding citizen. I understand what you're trying to explain. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Rosie, quit sending me meth.
Yeah, I know. We did get stopped by I don't know if you saw the video. We got stopped by the DEA and across Missouri. As soon as we went across the line in Illinois, we were tracked 5 miles by the DEA, and they pulled us over and checked the van and went through all our luggage and everything. You can see the video.
Were they really surprised when they found those big ass dildos?
No, they were really surprised. I'm lucky they didn't find the moonshine because I had a shitload of moonshine.
Yeah, I was going to say that's
It's probably lucky.
What is that?
County Mountie would have.
All my panties and bathing suit, everything. It's all out there. We're just going crazy. You can see the videos on there. Stop.
Checking out the Google
stopped and harassed by the DEA. Yeah. Because white panel van, California tags. Yeah. Right on I-70.
Two right there.
Yeah, they running drugs for sure.
From Chicago and New York. So they're coming in from Colorado, bringing all kinds of grass and California and stuff, taking it up to Chicago and Kansas City and into New York City.
New York City?
New York City, baby. They call that I-70 a real, Linda Francine was telling me, it's the Mule Highway there.
I was doing a commercial, Rosie.
New York City?
Tell me the commercial.
Tell me the commercial. New York City.
I know it.
Yeah,
Actually, I don't know. Oh, I do know what it is.
Yep. Anybody?
No.
New York City. It's like El Paso barbecue sauce or some shit.
Salsa.
Salsa.
Oh man, I'll tell you the
Pace.
barbecue was
Pace
off
Peconic.
El Paso, boys. El Paso barbecue was great.
Yeah, WTF SoCal for the win. Boom. Get a rope. Exactly. Nice.
Oh,
We got to talk about this fucktard in North Carolina who's one county over from me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Daryl Fisher. So see that right there, ladies and gentlemen? That is a picture of a PM I sent him. And I put, you, sir. Oh, I guess get a little background. So this guy's running for sheriff in Buncombe County, which is Asheville area, North Cracky. And he was in front of a bunch of, what are those women thing? What's that group called?
Bitches.
Woman thing. Like that's not a good start.
Whatever. They're, basically against guns and all that violence bullshit.
Bitches. That's what I said.
Bitches, yeah. And so he had said right in front of everybody, he's like, yeah, and they're saying, pry from my cold, dead hands. And he's like, that's fine, or something like that. Like basically, he basically said to every Second Amendment supporter that he was willing to do whatever it took to take the guns away. So actually I sent that link to Coda Boy the other day and he did a video about it. So check that video out. It's a lot more in depth and has a lot more info on it than what I'm going to tell you. But I put, you, sir, have committed political suicide with your comments of the Second Amendment. Please take the time to get familiar with the laws and procedures of getting a CHP, and so on and so forth. And what a fucktard. So he's basically committed political suicide. So hopefully he's not he won't make it to be sheriff, because at least he actually said what was on his mind. So he's
Mom's demand action. Bald headed.
Huh?
Moms demand action.
Yes, that's the ones. Those bitches.
And he's running for sheriff in a state that you have open carry.
Open carry, easy to get concealed carry. It takes about 8 weeks, at least in the county I'm in, which is really fast. Right now, California is 2 years in Riverside County. 2 damn years. That's if you get approved.
South Carolina is like 90 days. It's not that it has to take that long. That's just how long it takes. Because literally, there's one old lady that mails out every concealed weapon permit. One lady in South Carolina. And that's just how long the backlog is before she can get them all out.
It's shit right there, right? On how they control certain things and put things in place that slows people, discourages people, and so on. They make it so there's just no fucking support in that branch. And they go, yeah, it's there. Oh, yeah, no, we're supporting it. No, the court said we had to. No problem. There it is. And you're like, you got one person. Are you kidding me? No, the court said we have to, so there it is. You know what I mean? You're like, you sons of bitches. And then you go back and they smile. And they're smiling behind the door you can't even see through. You want to go through the door and smack the smile right off your goddamn face. The same thing happens in Canada, right? Same thing. It's fucked. I don't know. I don't even know why they do it. Like, just, save money probably. Anyway. And that's what grinds my gears.
Well, all I can say is, like, I haven't had many law enforcement encounters down south except for the one at Farmageddon, and that dude kicked ass. I don't remember his name, but that dude, that was freaking awesome. I even called the sheriff after that. I don't know, it was probably a week later after I left Farmageddon. I was at work, and I told Rob that I was going to call him, and I did call the sheriff of the county that happened in, And he was like the coolest guy ever. He's like, oh shit, we get calls for shooting all the time. He's like, but that was a little excessive. We kept getting calls and kept getting calls, so we actually had to send somebody out. And but he was cool about the whole thing.
Yeah, that's cool. He was a cool dude.
Yeah. The guy that come out there, the police officer, he was just like, I just want to make sure everything's cool, you know. And then once there was like a little lull, and then people started shooting again. And then Rob said, look over here, because he was standing right on the corner of that little shed.
Mm-hmm.
And when he rounded that corner, and there's about, I don't know, 30 or 40 fucking AR-15s propped up. He was like, holy shit.
I was going to say.
I asked Rob if it was okay for him to take pictures.
Yeah, and that was cool. He's like, do you mind if I take a couple pictures to send to some of the guys I work with, because they're never going to believe this. And at the end, he's like, well, if we end up having an issue in the county tonight, we know where we're coming.
Yeah,
and he meant for backup, not to arrest us. He meant for backup.
What else do? If you ain't gonna beat them, so you might as well join them.
Well, he told us, he's like, y'all got more arms here than we do in 3 counties with the police forces in 3 counties.
I gotta say, the guy must have had a set of balls on him this big to walk into like 35 people. We didn't stop for shit shooting. I mean, and there's guns, ammo, shit everywhere.
Well,
like, he had to have a fucking set about yay big.
To back up just a little bit, from what I understand, what happened is he pulled into the drive a little bit and he stopped. And somebody seen that there was a police officer out there, and they went and got Rob. Rob walked down the driveway to meet him, and Rob brought him in.
Oh, all I know is I was like, no backup, by himself, barely had a pistol on him, I'm sure.
Well, so what if he had his backup? He kept the whole county there, like have the whole county there. It'd be like the same thing. It'd be the fucking shit though. You're right about the balls, right? Because all of a sudden everybody turns around, you got black shirts on. It says "fuck the police" on them, right? You imagine turn around, you can just it'd be like Jackie Gleason in one of the bandits, and he's sitting there goes, "Fuck," you know. That'd be funny.
Yeah, that worked out pretty good. That was a fun day.
But I mean, we were out in the country, and even though it was an excessive amount of shooting, I think, you know, I don't know. I guess we got a bias a bias about it. You know, it wasn't like a shooting. I mean, it probably, I'm sure, sounded just like going to a gun range. It was just a constant, never ending. The only pause is like, you know, a couple of seconds, and then there's 2 or 3 guns going off, and then a few seconds, maybe, and then there's 4 or 5 guns going off. So I'm pretty sure he didn't think a crime was going on, but at the same time, there's a lot of some bitches with guns down this road.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not a short driveway either.
No, not at all. When I turned around, I saw Blue talking to him. I was like, good.
Oh, fuck no. As soon as I saw him there, I was like, hey, how are you? I walked up, introduced myself as a lieutenant with this police department, blah, 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 blah. But Rob already had it way under control. But I figured if he knew there was at least one other law enforcement person that was actually there partaking, it would, you know, calm it just a little bit more. So, I mean, Christ, by before he even left, we kept saying, hey, why don't you pick up a couple guns and shoot some? And his biggest thing was like, oh, I don't want to end up on YouTube. And we're all like, oh, no, that would never happen.
Yeah.
No, it'll never happen, right?
It'll never happen.
No, I was smart on him, though, probably. You know.
Yeah, he did good. He shot really well.
Volunteer said I had mixed feelings coming down that driveway by myself too.
Yeah, you're like, holy shit, and then you come around the corner.
Especially late afternoon, evening, huh? The boys have been at it for a while.
Oh, and that's just
all
the thing.
stuff.
I mean, even though once, like whenever I was there, once the alcohol came out, if you started drinking, that was it. But there were some people that weren't drinking that still wanted to shoot tracer rounds and, you know, do different things. Christ, I can't even imagine getting that call at 9:30 at night with still these assholes have been going all day. It's fucking dark and they're still blowing shit up. I'll be like, nope.
Yeah, I ain't going down that road.
Somebody get the drone out.
It was good, safe times. Most of the time.
Yeah, I still didn't like that shit thrown into the fire that was going off there.
Yeah,
Man,
Yeah, I can't believe that.
That's Rick's new name is the Gunpowder Fairy.
You couldn't come up with anything better than that.
He just runs around sprinkling gunpowder. Like,
yeah, be careful, Rick. That name could stick. You know, I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I think that's fucking retarded.
Seems like even if I remember correctly, I think he even done it like that, you know, where he let it run down his arm, you know.
and then he did the twinkle fingers.
I was probably wearing a skirt and a dress at the time too, I'm assuming. Since the story's fucking getting a little out of hand.
No, there were some wings.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I had. Yeah, I am the luckiest guy in the world.
Oh Christ!
Flashback.
That was the biggest non-event that I seen blew up to be an event. Of all the shit that went down, it was like, I don't remember if I was talking to Blue or who. I think I was talking to Blue, and you said, I'm gonna throw some gunpowder in here, and I was like, whatever. I was standing like on the edge of the fire pit, and I'm like,
yeah, you weren't there.
I remember turning around like, well, it was a little bigger than I thought it would be.
Saw the video, you'd have a different take on it. You know,
See, might as well be is the only guy that knows how to put a name out there.
There you go, flashbang.
No,
I'll take flashbang all day long.
Gunpowder
cool
Fairy.
Yeah, you and your powder fairy. That's some cop bullshit. Get the fuck.
Definitely Powder Fairy.
Yeah, I kind of lean with you, Blue. Powder Fairy.
I vote that too.
All right. Well, don't think I won't come up with a few names for you guys then too.
There it is, the Flash Fairy.
Flash Fairy. There you go.
Fuck, that's even worse.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
That can run around with like one of those trench coats and just Flash Fairy.
Oh, I like that one.
All right. None of them work. We'll just keep 6 as the one.
I mean, we had 50 cows going off in the fire. We ended up throwing entire boxes of ammo in the fire. I mean, not like, oh, here's some 270. Not dropping. No, oh, yeah, the whole fucking box. Fuck it. There you go. and the man throws a plastic Ziploc bag of gunpowder in there, and that's like, holy shit, he like blew up the world. It's like that was the most non-event of the whole fucking weekend.
I got another bag for it next time somewhere around here.
The powder pixie.
Blue, I'm putting your ass on time the fuck out here.
That one wasn't me.
Yep.
That was Scotsman.
Oh, fuck the Scotsman.
Assholes. Everybody's assholes late at night.
I will say Midas. I mean, of all the shit that went down, if there's a motherfucker that can build a fire, Midas is the man. He didn't just have a 10-foot flame going. He had 10 foot of pallets of flame. So they was reaching the treetops, you know.
That was a good one.
There's a lot of good ones out there.
It was to the point. Who was there that had that like 1970s Volkswagen bus with it? Like, I mean,
OBX.
who was it?
OBX.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I mean he had the vintage canopy and everything else, and we're like, you might want to roll back that canopy because there's gonna be some sparks hitting that bitch.
Yeah, he had it to the point he couldn't even. He was throwing the pallets up on because I mean it was over. Like I ain't kidding, it was like 8-10 foot tall pallets. I'm sure Rob was like, "Damn, I should have brought more pallets. I guess because they're all going to be gone here in about 15 minutes."
Yeah, exactly. Everybody step back 50 feet and then freeze your ass off the rest of the night.
Oh yeah, if that would have tipped over, that somebody would have died.
Towering inferno.
And then Rob would have jumped on top of it and walked across it. That didn't happen that whenever I was there, but I saw the videos.
That's right.
The OBX drove that little Volkswagen all the way from freaking California.
Man, I tell you what, that thing was cool as hell. I wouldn't want to drive that thing just because the top speed's probably 58 miles an hour all the way across the country, but it was cool. It was pretty damn cool.
If you can't do 80, forget about it. You know you're gonna be out there for a week.
Oh God.
He done a lot of modifications about that. I don't remember to bore everybody, but I talked to him for a little while. If I'm not mistaken, he converted it to 4-wheel drive. Oh, he lives in North Carolina. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking he was in. Okay, for some reason I was thinking he was from California. My bad. SoCal
He's a
corrected
good
me.
friend of SoCal's, but obviously,
Okay, he was a friend of SoCal's. That's probably where I got it
yeah.
fucked up. Hey, Kelly. Kelly's signed in under Pops. Anyway, he had converted that. If I'm not mistaken, it was 4-wheel drive and it was a diesel. Volkswagen Vanagon or whatever they call those. The camper, man, that little thing was badass. I'd love to have
I know, and it was cherry. Like he restored that whole thing. It was pretty badass.
Oh yeah, it was.
Pops
fell asleep.
All right, kids, if I don't cut off now and go to bed, I'm not going to go to bed. So keep going, but I got to roll.
We're about at 2 hours anyway.
You're
going to go ahead. Thanks for coming on, Blue. Thank you for being an anchor man. You're here as much as you can, and I do appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good night. This was a good chat. I was laughing so goddamn hard, I had tears coming down my eyes at some point. So it was it's been a good night, especially having a suck ass last 2 weeks. So everybody have a good night. Catch you next.
Feel better, Blue.
Cheers, Blue. Be safe.
All right.
Okay, buddy.
See you guys.
All right, later, Blue. We might as well go down the list here, and I'll let everybody sign out. It was a good chat. I think we did cover a lot of topics, and there's a good chat. I enjoyed it. I'm to be honest, I'm liking just having one chat a week and just concentrate on it and try to have a good chat. And I think it's working out really good. We had a really big audience out there today. Or tonight. I seen 71 or 72. I know I seen 71. So that's a pretty good number for a live chat on YouTube, or at least in our circles. So anyway, with that, I'm going to let Luke do a outro, and we'll go down the list from there.
Just let me unmute here. First off, it was great just to sit with y'all again. It's been a little bit, certainly. I've been trying to get on the Scotsman's there. Certainly, those gentlemen there are supposed to have a chat there on Sundays, but I think they're having it way later or something. So I'll try to trip over there. But no, it was good seeing y'all. Great crowd out there, and that was really cool. I've been hanging out with basically Patch, who's a good friend of mine, certainly the man who freezed to die. He's been doing some really cool chats over there, so I've been hanging out with him, a few other Americans, and getting his perspective. But good group there. But yeah, that was great chat tonight. I enjoyed it for quite a while on the outside, and then I had a chance to actually start doing some typing and then to sit in. So nice seeing you guys. And gals. Nice seeing y'all.
Nice seeing you, Luke.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
seeing you.
thanks.
Yeah, anytime you want to link, Luke. you were one of the first ones I started doing chats with, or we was on the panel anyway. And I always enjoyed talking to you.
Indeed, man, indeed.
Is your 6 covered? I mean, powder pixie.
No. Thanks again, TR. Appreciate it. I had a good time tonight. I think we hit a lot of good topics. I think doing it once a week is better. You can really get into depth on the stuff. And then, the second day we were talking about the same shit half the time. And that kind of makes it boring for you guys watching as well. So bringing the old, the Crazy Scotsman in there and Alan B. Pro for the Sunday one makes it kind of nice. So you guys get a chance to check them out as well. And you get some fresh topics and stuff like that. But other than that, I appreciate you guys showing up. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Why not? Hit the damn button, and appreciate it. You guys have a good one.
Thanks for coming on as always, man. I do appreciate it. And Rosie, last but not least, would you like
nothing really for me. Great chat tonight. Enjoyed it as usual. Nice to see Luke on here and everybody. Thank you so much as usual, TR. The best side chat in the business. Thank you, everybody, for a great chat. I think I'll be firing one up afterward tonight, but a good time, very good time. Thank you, TR and company.
Well, thank you for coming on, Rosie. And I do agree. I think we have a really, really good audience out there. The side chat, they really get along and have a lot of fun with each other and with us as well. And I do appreciate it. Sometimes I'm too tired to actually want to do these, but by the time it's over with, I'm glad I do it as well. As always, it's a lot of fun seeing everybody have a good time out there and a lot of good conversation, and we mix it up pretty good. And it's a really good chat. I enjoy doing it. So with that, thanks everybody for showing up, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.